How microphones are used to make great recordings. This question comes from Robert in Calgary, Canada, and he writes, Paul, please explain what makes a great microphone. After all, if the sound isn't picked up by the microphone, there's no way the audiophile will hear it on their system. Secondly, if a recording engineer's great microphones, what's the difference between a careful, talented engineer like Gus and someone who is either pressed to get the work out or isn't motivated to take that care for whatever reason? In other words, please, would you explain what makes up quality recording devices and how to effectively use the microphones to get them as close to live sound that people like me want to hear? That's an excellent question, and it comes at a good time because this month, well, I don't know what month we're in that you're seeing this, but just recently, about a week ago, we finally got our first album, or first record out on Octave Records. So Octave Records has been something ongoing for a year and a half, and I know I've talked about it. You've been up in the studio with me on these videos, you've seen the big Moog, you've seen all of that, and finally our first recording is out. It's called Out of Thin Air by pianist Don Grusin, brother of Dave Grusin. It's a great recording. It's so, I mean, not everybody likes the music, but I do. I mean, if you want to know how a piano should sound, this is the recording to get. Out of Thin Air, Octave Records. Go to psaudio.com and you'll figure it out. That was recorded using multiple microphones, mostly condenser microphones. And I'm not going to get into what makes that part of the question, what makes a great microphone, because that's a little beyond the scope of what this series is all about. Because, oh boy, I mean, microphones are a can of worms. There's, like speakers, there's ribbon microphones and condenser microphones and, just on and on and on. And essentially, every microphone has a sound to it. So the challenge for an engineer is to pick a microphone that is synergistic with what you're trying to record. Like I know Gus loves ribbon microphones for horns because a ribbon microphone can handle a huge amount of transient loudness without breakup. It just sails right through it, where a condenser microphone sounds a little bit more compressed when you do that. But like speakers, like stereo, like anything you can think of in our industry, it's synergy. You got to pick the right tools for the right job. And that's the art of the recording engineer. And to answer the last part of the question, Gus has some of the best set of ears I've ever heard. Gus knows what good sound is and how to achieve it. So just like, what's a good way to put this? Well, if you have an engineer at, say, the record, I don't want to pick on studios because I don't know them that well, but if we went to a commercial studio and somebody's like, you got 4 hours to get this thing cranked out, well, he's going to do his best on the monitors that he have to satisfy the producer or the artist, right? And maybe that person wants loud. This is a rock piece, I want it to pop, I want it to be loud. Another producer may say, I want it to sound real. Well, that would be Octave Records. Me as producer, Gus as engineer, we're after the same thing. We want to show the world great recordings and how great they can actually be. So we use our ears and our goals of having live music come across, and that just takes longer and a lot more experience and skill to get it right. But like the way we design equipment, we use our ears as the final measuring tools. Okay? So hope that answers your question. If you do get a chance, check out Octave Records, psaudio.com. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.